Well, this is the beginning of the video. Normally I start with an intro. Today we're starting with a bite on the left-hand rod. There it goes, look. Just going to give it a little bit of time to develop. Once we've sorted this bite out, we'll talk about what I'm going to do today. It's giving me a bit of slack line. Let's see what we got. I fished this mark a few days back, so there'll already be a video of me fishing here. There's some wrasse out here. If I got the fish is the question. If I have, I think I have. It feels like there's something pulling. It's not massive. I've got a loop rig, 3/0 hooks, fish baits. Yeah, I think there's something on there. Not bad for the first cast, eh? Yeah. Let's see. If you saw one of my earlier videos, this is the venue where I caught a PB plaice recently. What have we got? I can't see yet, but it's coming up. Oh, it's a whiting. That's not really what I wanted, is it? Not a bad size one, but by Norway standards, that's a baby. Oh, I'll get this chap unhooked, get him chucked back. Then we'll do the intro. Once I've got some more baits in the water. See you in a second. So that whiting swam off. Sometimes they go belly up. That one actually went back down. So what is the plan for the day? Well, I've got 3 rigs on the go at the moment. 2 are my 3/0 loop rigs, which I just caught that whiting on. And one of them is this 3-hook clip down loop rig. And that's got 1/0 saltwater supermatch hooks, 18-inch snoods. And I've loaded this with some very disgustingly old ragworm. So that ragworm's been driving around in our van for 3 days. Well, I say driving around. The weather has been atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I'll fill you in with a few more details once I've got this cast back out. So we get this whacked out. It's been so bad I couldn't film because of the rain. But today the weather has finally turned. We've had storm force 10 winds, biblical rain, I described it. I was out fishing in biblical rain and storm force 10 winds. We didn't stay out for long. It was pretty grim, but I couldn't film. There were a few little breaks in the rain that day, and I caught an absolutely stunning grey gurnard, and I caught my first halibut. So I'll stick a couple of pictures in of those so you can see what I had. But today, this is a mark where we catch wrasse and plaice, some dabs. We've already seen that whiting, but we know there's some halibut here, so that's going to be the plan as well. I'm going to get a 4th rig out later on, stick a big bait popped out up for a halibut. But to start off with, I just want to get a little bit of action, catch a few fish, and just enjoy the session. Yeah, when we were fishing here a few days ago, when the weather was much nicer, friend Scotty, he hooked into a really nice halibut fairly close in that I'd seen earlier in the day take some fish off the surface that had chucked back and not swum off. I might have mentioned that in an earlier video. So yeah, we know they're here, we know they're swimming around, and it's got to be worth a shot. But the rig I've just chucked out with the rag, that's going to hopefully either pick me up a wrasse or a plaice. And the fish baits, maybe codlin or pollock or coalfish, they swim around here. And you never know, I might get a halibut on one of those. The butt I caught the other day, it was only a little baby, but it was my first, and I was really happy to get it. And that was on my 3/0 loop rig with the fish bait. So we'll take a look at that rig a bit later when I've got one baited up, ready to chuck out. In the meantime, hopefully it won't just be whiting. Fingers crossed for a good day's fishing after the storms we've had, stopping us get out much. So yeah, we've lost about 3 days this week really to the weather, with just like the odd hour fitted in here and there, trying to keep up with it all. Yeah, so we've got a nice long session today, flying home tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be on some fish. I'm going to film through until about dusk, and we're going to fish into darkness, but I'm not going to film in darkness because it's a little bit tricky. I haven't got good lights for it. But if I do catch anything in the dark, oh, I think I just had a pull down on this. If I do catch anything in the dark, I'll stick a picture in right now. If not, you know there was nothing noteworthy other than maybe probably little whiting, little haddock, that kind of thing after dark. But if I get a decent fish, I'll make sure the picture has been inserted. Right, let's pop this down, get my drag set, and we're back fishing. I'll get my other rig rebaited, ready to go back out when one of these comes in. Ratchet on, drag set, good to go. Hopefully see you soon with something better. So just now I said I thought I had a little pull down while my line was settling, and I have indeed got a bite on this left hand rod with the rag baits. Hopefully it's not another whiting. If it is, I might have to save all the worm baits for later on in the day, but there you go, look, that's a little nibble there. Just let it go a little bit more. What I want it to do is really whack round. Got 3 hooks, fairly rotten ragworm on there. They're obviously still eating them. Right, let's lift into this. I'm betting another whiting based on that bite. See, is he on there? Yeah, it's on. Fish on. It's definitely pulling back, this one. Maybe it's a bigger whiting. It'd be nice to have like 3 or 4 pounder, wouldn't it? That'd be a whiting worth taking home for the table. I'm not going to mess around with silly little whiting though. My wife don't like eating them very much. And I don't like eating fish. This one does feel a bit bigger than the first though. Oops, lost my footing a bit there. It's definitely pulling back. I can't see the leader yet. Oh, here it comes. Here comes the leader. There we are. Oh, it's making a bid for freedom. Oh, you're not going to believe this. I'll tell you what, that is a very, very cute little cod. There we go. Let's have a look at this one. I haven't even got my other rig rebaited. We're on the cod. Look at that. That is what you call perfection in miniature. The cutest little baby cod one can imagine. He's very lively. We'll get him thrown back to come back hopefully when he's 20 pound. I just had a much better pull down on the worm baits. Doesn't feel massive, but let's see what we've got. I'll tell you what, they are loving these ragworm today. I've got a few frozen blacks with me as well, in case I need some more worms. But I'm not having time to rebait my fish bait rig. Between chucks, I'll just chuck worm baits back out on this after that little codling. The smaller fish are definitely on the feed. Oh yeah, this is woken up. It's certainly a better fish than the last one. Other than that, it's just got more spirit in it. It knows it's coming to the edge. Leader's coming. It's banging. Oh, definitely woken up now. Oh, come on. It's taking me into the ledge, I think. Come on, that's it. Oh, we got a double shot. A double shot that took me into the ledge. We got, what does that look like? 2 whiting. Yeah, whiting. 2 whiting. That's not really what I wanted, is it? There we go. Double shot of whiting. Pretty good size at the top. I don't really want whiting, but the fish are here and we're catching, which is better than the last few days have been, eh? Whew, get the baits back out. Well, what can I say? We've had a bit of a flurry of activity here. I'm just trying to sort my rig out. That's better. Let me just step back a little bit. Scotty just had a nice cod, about 6-7 pound. And this is my 3.0 loop rig, 18-inch snoods, loaded with herring. A little bit of loomy above, just in case it adds that little bit extra. Oh, I'll get the grass off my lead before we whack this out. I've got fish bait on the other one as well. Scotty's cod was on a fish bait. So we know there's some fish out here. I also just reeled in another whiting and a little baby haddock. They've gone back. That was on the worm baits. But let's get this guy out.
This side's alright. Yeah.
That did not sound healthy, did it? My reel's definitely getting a service when I get back home. I think the bearings sound like they're saying, oil me, every time I whack it out. Just got to let this sink to the bottom. Once this is out, I shall get my worm bait rig rebaited, because I still want to catch that lovely plaice. I might even treat it to one of the slightly fresher rag I've got with me. When I say slightly fresher, I mean dug about 8 days ago. So they're certainly not at their best, but they have still got a bit of life to them, unlike the slime I've put out so far. Right, that's down on the bottom. Loosen off the drag. Because if we do get that screaming run, we want to make sure the rod is firmly in the rod rest, with the fish able to take some line. Oops, got a bit of a rod tangle going on. There we are. Whew. I want to get a big fish today. Had my first halibut. Is it about that big? A few pound. I'd love, just love to get a bigger one, maybe a double figure one. My goal for the trip, well, my ideal size halibut would be about 20, 30 pound. That's what I want to catch. And we've got all day today, packing up this evening before we fly back home. But we'll see how it goes. Catch you in a bit. Well, these fish baits have been out here a good half hour without any touches. We're losing the tide now, it's not far off low. So we're going to get these reeled in. Try another truck with some worm baits just for a bit of action. Last lot of fish baits I reeled in had a massive edible crab on there that let go just as I lifted it out of the water. Certainly a bit of weight on here. Could be another bit of crab, another crab, bit of weed maybe. That's just come. I've just felt it hit the ledge that's near the edge here. I think it was probably a crab. It felt like it just let go, to be honest. Let's get that leader knot at the edge. Let's see what our fish baits look like. Ooh. Oh dear. Well, it's a good job I reeled that in. Because look, we've got a bit of tanglage going on there. Let's get this unclipped. Get the worm baits going out. Hopefully I'm still in shot. It's quite a little cramped spot here. Right, let's get the other rig so we can get it sent back out. It's nice to be able to be back out fishing and not in the rain and the absolute howling gales we've been getting here. The top hook's just come unclipped, so we get that put back on. If this yields more little pest fish, then the worm baits will wait till the tide turns and we've got a bit more water in front of us. Anyway, let's get this one out. I'm going to flick this one quite close in just to see if I can pick up a wrasse or something. There we go, a little gentle flick. That's probably out about 50 yards. Certainly closer than I have been putting it. Where we know where there's one whiting, there's probably 10 million whiting. There's still plenty of depth there, even though it's much closer in. Don't want to get people's hearts going, sitting that ratchet too soon. So there we go. Let's wait for that line to sink. I'll get it all tightened up nicely. Hopefully we'll pick up something on those worms anyway. Well, worms. Squidgy, yucky, mucky mess, dead worms. 3 days dead. And there we go, we've already got a bite, look. Haven't even tightened up the line. Hopefully you saw that on the camera. It was a very gentle little tap. There it goes. Well, that's what, within seconds of getting to the bottom. Keep that line tight. What do you reckon? Pin whiting? Another little pin whiting? Let's hope not. whatever it is seems to have moved on. Probably just took a taste of that worm and thought, I'm not eating that. Toxic. I'd love to catch me a little cuckoo wrasse. I know they live here. I've had those at this mark before. Not this trip. I had some ballons here the other day, which you might have seen in an earlier video. The water has kind of got a browny tinge to it today after these 3 days of howling gales we've had here. Howling gales, torrential rain. There's probably an awful lot of water rushing into the sea from the rain. There's that bite. So they definitely like these dead ragworm. Well, I said I'd bring you back if that bite was anything interesting. I'm just going to unhook this fish and then I'll show it to you. Look at that. A beautiful cuckoo wrasse. What a stunning fish that is. So we're going to get this chap put back. He's not the biggest in the world, but absolutely beautiful. I cast that further in hoping I'd pick up a wrasse, and it did the trick. So I'm going to get this guy in and I'll see you shortly. Woohoo, slippy, slippy. Well, just to keep you in the loop with the species of the day, there we have a little pollock. So that was the little bite I just had that pulled the ratchet. You might have seen that clip if I included it. But there we have him. Beautiful fish. We'll get this guy sent back. So I've got my free hook loop rig rebaited. Look at the bait on that. That is a decent chunk of ragworm, isn't it? So we'll get this chap back out. I'm going about 50 yards. This is where I'm picking up the fish at the minute. Seem to have got away from the worst of the whiting in this little fish hole. So a very gentle overhead thump. Perfect. That is exactly where I wanted it to go. Just let the line get down to the bottom. Let the line, get the weight. Get the right word, Gemma, get the right word. Still on its way down. I do think it's a little bit deeper there than further out, you know. Right. Make sure that drag's nicely set. Right. Next chuck, fish baits are going back out. I've just got to keep myself entertained with these little bits every so often. See what we can pick up, eh? A multi-species day, that's what I like. Right, I've been getting little taps on these worms, so they're coming in, and we're going to stick out the fish baits. Oh, there's some weight on here. Definitely, maybe more than one fish. Look at that, bend in the rod tip, if you can see that in the camera. I'll go down a bit closer to the edge, try not to slip. Yes, hopefully this is one better fish. Certainly putting a decent bend in the rod tip. Whatever it is. It's fighting back. The leader's come out. I've got to be mindful there's a ledge in front of me. It's pumping. It's having a bid for freedom. Oh. See, I've got to go through that bit. That gnarly bit. What have we got? Oh, it's a lovely flatty. Oh. Yeah, another plaice. Yeah, I was targeting the old plaice. Not quite as big as the one from the other day, but we have a lovely plaice, and Scotty's come to have a look.
It's not far off though.
There we are. Look at that.
It's 2.5 all day.
What a beauty. That's what we come for. Well, one of the things I come for, a beautiful place.
I'll T-bar him for you, sweetheart.
Oh, thanks.
I'll go and get the.
Isn't Scotty lovely? He's going to T-bar him for
Go
me.
and get the scales like. I reckon he's at least 2. I reckon a bit more.
Yeah.
He's got some weight. Come on, baby. There you go.
That's it. Look at that.
Right. Don't get me scared.
Come on. You know I love my flatties. And that is what I was hoping to pick up on those worm baits. Not pesky whiting. What a beautiful fish. When we've weighed him, I'll bring you back, tell you what he's coming in at. It's fat. It's a lovely fat place. We're on the fish. So here we go, we've got him on the scales.
Yeah,
Scotty's probably not quite in shot there, but £2 on the nose.
I don't know if they
So-
can see that, but it's £2 dead.
Yeah.
Lovely.
What a beauty, eh?
She can go back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We'll get this one shut back. I'm not going to take a place home and it's the last day, so it's not going to get eaten while we're here. Let's get him away. So that place swam off lovely. I've rebaited my worm bait rig, even though I was going to put fish baits out, because I do love catching a place. I'm going to try it again in the same spot. This time I've got rag on the bottom, and I've actually put some of my frozen lug on the other 2 hooks, because I'm a bit low on rag. I haven't got very much left. So we're going to get this out and see if we can pick up something else in that little hole that seems to be about 50 yards out. Oh, that was a little bit closer this time, but you never know. There might still be a flatty there waiting for me. At least I seem to, touch wood, got away from the whiting, casting a bit closer in. Lead's still on the way down. There we are, we're on the bottom. We'll get that line tightened up. I'll bring you back in a bit. There must be so many fish out there. The line hasn't even finished settling. And again, I'm straight into bites. There we go. I want it to pull around a bit more than that, really. I'll just tighten that line up a little bit. Here we go. Pop that ratchet back on. Be nice if I found a little place hole, wouldn't it? That was a bit more of a positive bite. Just give it a bit of time to take that bait in. Come on. Hopefully you can still see me. I'll have to keep the camera very close to where I'm fishing because we're on the rocks. There's not a lot of room here. Oh, there we go. Right, let's have him. Have we hooked it? Oh, I think I missed that one. Put the rod back down. I'll just hold the rod for a second, leaning in the rest. Make sure my line doesn't touch the rocks though. I've got 3 hooks, so I'm not too worried. There's so many fish out there, I'm pretty sure they're going for every hook. When I've been reeling in with fish on, the other hooks have clearly been attacked as well. Right, loosen that drag back off. Put the rod back down. Let's see if the bite comes back. Oops. There we go. I'll bring you back when we've got some action. So that bite we just saw, I just left it sitting here. The bite didn't come back, but I've decided to reel it in 5 minutes later. And we got a fish on. I'm hopeful this might be another flatty given that. We'll see. Certainly got a bit of weight on here. Tighten up my drag a little bit. Look at that bend. Hoping it doesn't take me into a snag. I've got something decent here, Scotty. Well, maybe another place. Hopefully not a crab. What is it? Yeah, it's another, there's a, hey! It's a treble shot. Oh, one's come off.
Nice.
One come off. Well, that was a treble shot of plaice there, guys. So one come off the wall on the way up, but look at these beauties. We'll have a look at these two. Right, I'll just pick this one up that's come off the hook. Bear with me. So that's the one that's unhooked himself. Another lovely fat Norwegian plaice. And the other one, similar size, bit skinnier this one though, like peas in a pod. Stunning markings. We'll get these guys chucked back. But yeah, that was a treble shot. One just come off as I was pulling them up. The bigger of the three, of course. It would be, wouldn't it? But we have definitely found a little plaice hole. Gotta love it. So there we go, look at that. Two beautiful Norwegian plaice. I'm gonna get these guys stuck back in the sea. We have found where the plaice live, 45 yards out. Straight to the bottom goes that one. Whee, both swum off. Absolutely love it. Well, I've been getting some nice little pull downs, again on the worm baits. It's been out there about 5 minutes. Gentle little taps, which are making me hopeful there's more plaice. So we're just going to give it a tiny bit longer, then I'm going to reel it in. I'd only brought 20 lug out with me today, but I had 40 more in the freezer. Sorry, scratching my head. Wayne's just popped back to the house, so I've just rung up and asked if he can bring me down my other lug just in case I want it. It's the last day, so it doesn't matter if it's out here with us. It's either going to get used or it isn't. Anyway, let's see if we've got something on the end here. It'd be lovely to get another plaice. And what I want is a big one. You know, those ones were lovely and all, but I'm hoping amongst these little plaice, little relatively speaking, there is another PB waiting for me. Well, and I don't think it's going to be on this retrieve. I've had those little nibbles, but it doesn't feel like we've got a fish. So we get these back in, put some fresh baits out there, and see if we can pick up a monster plaice from the deep, because it certainly is deep here. Let's see if they've mullered these lug. Anyway, yeah, hooks have been, well, they've not been stripped, but you can see they've been attacked. So yeah, look at that one at the top there. Something's had a right old go at that. So I'm going to get rebaited, get them chucked back out while the plaice are here. Well, I've been getting some very persistent bites on the worm baits. It's been out about 5 minutes, I've just left it. So we're going to see what we have, if anything, on the end. A little bit of weight here. Manoeuvre myself a little. Yep, there's something. Tighten my drag up a touch. Not as heavy as that treble shot, but it's fighting good. Oh, it's taking me into that ledge area. Get it through, reel a bit quicker. Hopefully when the tide comes up that won't be so much of a problem. Hopefully it's something flat. I can't see it yet, which gives me optimism. It's another flatty. What have we got? Oh, it's not a flatty. Damn. There was me being hopeful. But we've got another haddock. It's a little bit bigger this time. So let's take a look at this bad boy. Oh. Caught on the rocks. So here we have another Norwegian haddock. Again, still a small fish, but it's keeping me entertained. And I do love catching fish, even if they're not the biggest or the target species. I'm going to get this guy back. See you shortly. Well, I've just had a slightly better pull down on the worms. I'm just going to tighten the line up a little bit. This is on the left-hand rod. There we go, look. Tighten up that drag a little. Just so I'm ready to reel it in. I'll tell you what though, they're loving these frozen lug I'm putting out now. Well, I've got frozen lug on the top on this one. Rag on the bottom 2 hooks. Mixing it up a little bit. Just now I had lug on 2 hooks. Have I missed it? Yeah, missed that. So I'll pop it back down. See if it comes back for seconds. There just must be hundreds of fish out there because I'm getting bites. I'm getting bites pretty instantly when these baits, worm baits, go in the water. Just need to hook a few more of them. I'm just going to try and move the camera back a tiny bit, see if I can get a bit more of the shot of where I am in the field of view. Just angle you down a touch. Hopefully you can see a bit more of me like that. Look, that bite's still there. Little gentle ones that time. One day I'm going to get my 50cm plaice that I've been targeting for quite a long time. Wayne's over there doing a bit of spinning. See if he can pick anything up. Scotty's over there fishing fish baits. Oh, there we go, look. It's given me a bit of slack line, I think. Just a tiny bit. Just move that lead a little bit. I don't think you're very level, but I'll sort that out in a minute after I've reeled this one in. There we go. Is it on there? Yeah, we got it this time. Make sure I keep that line tight while I'm getting down near the edge. Oh, I think it might have come off. Yeah, it's off. Can't get them all. Oh, the sun's coming out. That's lovely. Oh no, it's on here. It's just woken. It has just woken up. We just definitely got a pull back there. Unless it's that ledge that I keep catching on the way up, which always gives me a little pull down, making me think I've got a fish. I'm all right, thanks, Scotty. Oh, I've got a spinner, but it's another beautiful cuckoo. There we are. Found the cuckoo hole again. Look at that beauty. These are stunning fish, aren't they? Let's take a look at this one. Absolutely beautiful colours on that chap. I'm going to get him unhooked, send him on his merry way. But yeah, we've had a couple of the target species so far, so it's not a bad day, is it? Well, I've just got a bit of a slack line on my worm bait, so I chucked him out on the fixed ball rod this time. Let's see if we've got anything here. I think my lines are a little bit crossed, so I'm going to come down the rock and make sure we don't get any tangling going on. Oh yeah, I think I need to be the other side. So I put that over there. That's better. I think I missed the fish, but we'll find out soon enough. I think I missed it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the worm. Hard to tell, to be honest, but then there's that little ledge I keep catching on the way up. Oh, we've got a fish. It isn't what gave me slack line, I can tell you that. Little paw cod. So look at that. Small, but perfectly formed. Little paw cod. To get this chap on his way. That was on black lug. And I'm pretty sure that little chap would not have had it in him to move a 6-ounce grip lead. Let's get him away. Off he goes. They can't all be big. They can't all be the target species. But we caught another one. Well, we've got a bite. We've got a bite on the left-hand rod. It's got worm baits on. I've got 2 hooks baited with 2 lug each. Tipped with a bit of herring. And rag tipped with a bit of herring on the bottom hook. There we go, look. I don't think that's a plaice bite, but what I want is a 50cm plaice. So I'm going to leave it as if it is, just for a minute, unless we get a really decent pull down. There's some smaller fish out there at the moment, like that paw cod I caught earlier, and they've been plucking the worm baits off the hooks quite a bit. I put a generous amount of elastic on this time, but they're still good at pulling. Nip, nip, nip. Trying to get those lugworm off. There we go. That doesn't look like a decent fish to me, but it's still a bite. And you know what? I just love catching them. The guys around me are persisting with bigger baits mostly for the bigger fish. But I'm mixing up my tactics like usual, hedging my bets. And I know it means I've got less chance of hooking that halibut, but this is what keeps me entertained and I love it. Tighten that line up a little bit, it's gone a bit slack. Let's see if this bite develops into something a bit better. I have to put my coat back on in a minute. When the wind picks up, it's still a tad chilly on this rock. Oh, there we go. Let's lift into this. Move the lead. Let's see if it's on it. No. Let's see, I think I've got it this time. Yeah, we've got some weight. Not a lot of weight. It'd be nice if it's another species, wouldn't it? Tighten that drag up a little bit. We're a few hours into the flood tide now. Hopefully that'll bring some better fish through. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of weight on here. Hopefully it's not a spinning porcod like we had before. I'm persisting with these tactics because I really want a decent plaice, you know, better than the PB I had earlier in the week. If you haven't watched that video, it'll have already gone up, I hope. Footage coming out okay. Oh, we've got a spinner. A double shot. We have another codling and a porcod. So there we go, look. Lovely little double shot. Let's get these chaps back. Get some more fish bait, more worm baits out. Well, we've got another bite on the left-hand rod. Again, the worm baits. Fish baits, nothing. There we go, look. It's been out there about 5 minutes already, so it's been a while to get this bite. Be nice if that's a sign of something bigger swimming around out there, scaring all the little ones. Time will tell. Not sure if I mentioned this already, but Wayne hooked something massive on a lure, which sadly snagged him and got off the lure. Wayne lost the lure in the rocks, and that was that. Oh, there we go. I wonder what this is, haddocky maybe. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, there's a bit of weight on here. It's definitely, yeah, it's a better fish. Probably a grabby. It's bending though, isn't it?
It's a bit better, we might have another triple shot of plaice.
Yeah, I've only got 1/0 hooks. Definitely some weight on this. It was a better bite in some ways. It had been going for quite a while, but yeah, there's some weight here.
You've had half a dozen species here now, haven't you?
I've had a lot. Yeah, this is fighting back for sure.
Probably a cod.
Be nice if it is a cod. More of a bend in the tip than I had with the triple shot of plaice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming. It's in the danger zone where that ledge is.
Can you log in?
Can't see it yet.
No colour yet.
I got leader though. What have we got?
Oh, it's a big flatty on top and a big flatty on the bottom and some fat.
Ah, weed. That's why it's heavy.
Got a double shot, eh?
Double shot of flatties.
Got a dab and a
I'll get them up.
dab.
2 dabs.
Yeah.
Different flatties. Thanks, Scotty.
No worries.
That weed come off, thankfully. Lovely pair of dabs. Small by Norwegian standards, but big by British standards. Look at that one on the top there. Let's have a proper look at these guys. I'll just sort my rod out. I've got a hook swinging around my head. Beautifully lip hooked, that one on the bottom. Just see if I can get him for you. I don't want to drop this lead. Not as elegant as I am on the beach up on these rocks, that's for sure. I'm not designed for standing on rocks. Come on, spin round. Don't want to put the hook in my hand. There we go. 2 lip hooked little dabs. Get these chaps back. The fish definitely seem to be moving through here. I think it's a bit of a channel where they swim through. So we've had different species as the session's gone on, in little bursts. So it's obviously the burst of the dabs right now. Let's get the hook out, this one at the top. Look at that, beautiful. Let's get the other one as well. We'll have a look at both of them together. Certainly not monsters. The best dab I've had out here was on a previous trip, which come in at 39 centimetres. But look, there we go. Beautiful little dabs. Let's get these guys back. That one straight down. And that one goes off as well. Always love to see them swimming away. Fine. Oops, sorry, kicking the camera I am. See you in a bit. Well guys, look, we've gone for straight lug this time on my 3 hook clip down. There you go, there's the top hook. Still with the 6-ounce grip. We're going to get this back out. This is what I just had the dabs on, those lug. So let's see if we can pick up a few more. Right? It'd be nice to get a bigger one. PB dab would be welcome. Let's check that's not twisted around the eye. Oh, Wayne's just coming back over the rocks. He went for a little walk. I had a double shot of dabs, so the species count's going up. Catch you in a bit. Well, because the poor cod had turned up in what seemed like numbers, I've got fish baits on both rods now, and I've just had a pull down on the left-hand rod. There we go, look. Earlier on, I had a whiting on fish baits. I'm hoping it's not another ting-ting, unless it's a decent one. What I really want is to hear my ratchet scream off. But I'll set off for a little tap on a 3.0 loop rig loaded up with herring. There it goes. Be funny if it's a little dab playing with it, wouldn't it? It's going to be an interesting session. What we've seen is like waves of different species come through. So we had a bout of whiting, a batch of plaice, a few casts with dabs. You know, it's all been mixed up, and then the poor cod arrived. So that's why I've switched over to these fish baits. I just want to see this pull down a little bit more, really. It's just something plucking at it, I think. But it's nice to see the rod tip move when you've got big bait out there. So let's see. Is that my line gone a little bit slack, maybe? Let me have a look. A little bit. Okay, let's wind into it. Let's see if it's hooked itself. It's had a little bang. Yeah, it's on it. Pretty sure it's on here. These are bigger baits though, so it's all going to put a bit more resistance up. Let's see what we have. Let's get a bit closer to the edge. These rocks are still a bit wet where it's been raining, biblical proportions of rain for 3 days. But we definitely got a fish on here. Look at that. Yeah, it's pulling back. Feels coddy. Be nice if this is a cod. I don't want it to take me into that ledge. It's definitely, it feels a better fish, relatively speaking, of course, compared to the other ones I've caught today. The leader's coming up. I'm getting near that ledge now, so I need to be careful. The leader's coming down the rod. What do we have? Ooh, it's making a bid for freedom near the edge. Well, it's not a cod. Maybe haddock, I think. I can't quite see it with the rocks. What is it? A big whiting. Well, they're getting bigger. Now that is a whiting. Look at that, sharp teeth in there, so I'm going to get my T-bar on that guy to unhook him, chuck him back. Definitely not the biggest whiting I've had in Norway, but one of the better fish today, similar size to that pollock I had earlier. Let's get this chap back. Right, we're going to reel this in. This has had fish baits on it. I had a couple of little knocks, but nothing spectacular. Just got to be a bit careful. Scotty's fishing next to me with a float and the tide Just brought it right round in front of me. I'm hoping we don't get a tangle going on it. It's a little bit of weight here, but I have got 2 fairly chunky baits on. And it's plausible that whatever tapped just sat there, because it does feel like it's pulling back a bit. Just got to watch that float. I've got my other rod tip in my head. Right, here comes my leader. Is there anything on here, or is it just the baits? Just the baits. And a bit of weed for added good measure. So the next truck's going to be the worm baits. But look, we can see something's had a munch on that top one, look. So that'll be the little plucky bites I was getting. And there we go. A bit later on we'll be switching over to some loomy. A bit more, well, got loomy on there now. A bit more loomy when we get into darkness. But I'll not be recording in the dark because I haven't got the lights for it. But yeah, we've still got a bit of daylight left. It's I think it's about 4:30 or so. So maybe another hour and a half when I can get a bit more footage, hopefully. Maybe we'll still get a bigger fish. Let's see. Well, I thought I'd have another chuck with the worm baits. That's on the left-hand rod. The right one's still got fish baits out on it. And we have another little bite. It's taken a little while to come this time. Really want the tide to start flooding a bit more, but we've got a tide pull at the moment, so that's good. I'm going to lift up and see if there's a fish on here. So I've had a couple of little rattles. Little mind, not big ones. It might be that there's these poor cod perhaps plucking at the baits and stealing them. Find out when we've got it in. Oh, we're near that ledge. It's just pulling over that ledge. Oh. Stuck in that ledge, good and proper. Oh. Well, the ledge got the better of me. That is now the end of my line. I'm going to get another leader put on, get another lead out. Not what I wanted. Well, I suppose I should be grateful that's the first lead I've lost on this trip. Anyway, I've got my fish baits ready to go back out. I've put a new leader on my reel and we're good to go. I'm not going to put this one too far. It was my worm bait rig that I lost, so I'm going to get another one of those out and get it set up ready for the next chuck. So a nice little flick. Hopefully I won't get in that ledge again. Need the water to come up a little bit really. Tide's still pretty low at the moment. But yeah, I was straight in that ledge. Does make me worried a little bit in case I do hook a decent fish, because it's going to make a dive for it, isn't it, into that little snag in front of me. Anyway, this one's still on the way down. We've got boats back in the water. And all I've lost is a rig, a leader and a lead. Probably would have lost more tackle if the weather hadn't been so bad. Right, that's the drag set. It's going to take a little while for the line to sink. The ratchet's on. Right, let me find another 3-hook loop rig, get a 6-ounce grip on it, get it set up for the next one. I never like losing kit, especially when now it's created a little snag in front of me, where I already had a snag to start with. But it is what it is. Well guys, that is going to be it for this video. My mic receiver battery is nearly dead. The sun is setting over that way where I can see. And yeah, it's been another long day. We've still got a good few hours of fishing left though, because we are going to fish into darkness. If I caught any decent fish in darkness, you'll probably have seen the pictures earlier on in this video. If not, they're here right now. So thanks for watching this one. This is the end of this recent Norway adventure. It's been a lovely mixed bag species today. I've had plaice and dabs. Sadly, no halibut yet. Whiting, poor cod, pollock, cuckoo, wrasse, haddock. There's probably something else in there I've forgotten. So it's been a nice mixed species day. I'm going to get some more worm baits out in a second, reel my fish baits in and see where we stand. But that's all for this Norway trip. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope to be back over here probably in the spring next year. In the meantime, there'll be more videos coming up from my local beaches. See you next time, everybody.